Mistake number one is you're not washing your hair enough. Ah, yes, okay. Y'all, we have to make sure we're using the correct types of mousse and setting lotions before we do our roller set. So first things first, let me just say this. We are holding each other's hands during this video, okay? We're holding each other's hands during this video. We are sisters locking in together, sharing the ups, the downs, and the lessons learned. If you've ever wondered why your roller set isn't coming out the way my roller set comes out, this video is for you. Because y'all been tagging me in your roller set videos and content, and I see so many critical mistakes happening, and I wish I could jump through the phone and just stop you in your tracks before you go any further, because these are little fixes that can make a world of difference. So I'm gonna be pulling up y'all's videos. Okay, we're pulling up y'all's videos today. I'm gonna put y'all on blast, not to put you on Front Street, but to simply get some community support and mutual encouragement on how we can do these roller sets better. Now, if you don't know me, this is your first time being on my channel. Hi, I'm Jade. I am a mom, a wife, a hair enthusiast, okay? I am a self-proclaimed kitchen beautician, and I'm simply somebody who has loved exploring all things hair over the last long time I've been on YouTube, okay, child? And so we are entering into our straight natural hair journeys over here, okay? I've been roller setting my own hair. I taught myself how to roller set when I was a kid and then picked it back up a couple years ago, and it has literally like been chef's kiss, changed my life. I love my hair these days. I had a big chop about 2.5 years ago. Can you believe that I big chopped 2.5 years ago? Crazy. Now, if you're looking at me like, Jade, I don't have your hair texture and roller sets only work for women that have hair like you, that is not correct, okay? That is a myth, okay? We're debunking that myth in this video, because let me tell y'all first, before we even get into my critiques and feedback and tips and tricks and stuff on these roller sets, I'm gonna put in a couple or a few different hairstylists right here that y'all can follow on Instagram and TikTok that are literally showing you the range and the possibilities and the limitless of a roller set, because they're showing you on all different hair types, okay? From kinkiest, curliest 4Z hair to the smoothest 2A, 3A, you know, look. Some of us not even into hair typing, and that's a whole thing for another day. But if you want to see a variety of different hair textures using these rollers, the tension rollers that I prefer to use on my hair, but you can use the magnetic rollers. I go over all of this stuff actually in my roller set and go guide. If you have not gotten that yet, it's free. It's super easy to follow, has all my product recommendations, where you can get the rollers I use, and all sorts of stuff. But I want to share these stylists with you specifically because they show you what is possible. Now for drying disasters and unrolling regrets. This is something I scream, I feel like, at the rooftops every time I do a video or a post about roller setting, which is do not get up from underneath that dryer until your hair is 100% dry. And I'm talking about like your hair may feel a little crisp when it's out of that dryer to know that it's finished. If you're using a foam, especially, if you take that roller down and it's cool to the touch at any section, any point, it is not done, okay? This also speaks to the whole organizing and being consistent with the sectioning and how much hair you're putting in each roller that we talked about in the last part of this video, because yeah, we want all of our hair to dry consistently so that we don't spend extra time taking them down, then they're not all the way dry, then having to fix it. We can fix it, okay? I actually just did a post about this not too long ago on Instagram and TikTok where I showed y'all my little hack for when you don't want to sit under the dryer for as long as you should. My hooded dryer died on me 30 minutes into my roller set, and I was like, oh my God. I just grabbed my blowout brush from Heritage by Mindy. It's literally like a $30 or $40 blowout brush. You can use any blowout brush, but it needs to be a blowout brush because you need the airflow to help dry your hair while also smoothing your hair to finish off your roller set. And that really does work. It actually diminishes the amount of time you do need your hair to dry under the hooded dryer, but but this is the thing. I don't make this my norm, even though it's faster. I don't make this my norm because I'm trying to avoid mechanical damage as much as possible. What is mechanical damage? Mechanical damage is just simply from brushing or using a lot of tension on your hair. It also is the same type of damage you get whenever you do too many like slick back buns or really tight styles and things like that. That's mechanical damage. It's literally like manual damage from just like playing with your hair too much, okay? So I want to avoid that by not using blowout brushes, which is why I also really do believe that roller sets win when it comes to like a blowout versus a roller set debate, because the roller set is super gentle on your hair. Even though you are creating a lot of tension with the roller on your hair, you're not constantly yanking at it like with a blow dry process to get it dry. It's just kind of set and it's sitting there. So that's a very gentle way for your hair to mold into your straight look instead of having to constantly blow dry, brush down, brush down. That's faster, yes, but over time it can cause a bit of damage, especially if you have fine hair or less dense hair. You're gonna have some breakage. And I really believe that going from wet, completely wet, to using a blowout brush to get you dry and straight is not good. It actually causes a lot of breakage. Jump down the rabbit hole of people talking about those Revlon brushes we were all using like 2, 3 years ago, that everybody loved them. And so we all started using like blowout brushes from like literally from the straight wet to dry. And people are talking about how they realized that a lot of their hair was breaking off after a long time of using it. Maybe not after the first or second or third or fourth time, but if you're somebody this is your lifestyle, you're gonna notice probably some breakage along the way, not because you got heat damage, but because of the mechanical damage of just like yanking at that hair all the time. So again, if I can avoid a blowout brush, I will. And if I do use a blowout brush, which I do all the time, I only use a blowout brush when my hair is at least 75, 80% dry. Like it can't be wet, it can be damp or pretty much dry-ish, but not wet. And so we have to realize that our hair, when wet, is in its weakest state. It will snap when it's wet, right? So we want to just be careful about when and how we're using different hair tools and hot tools in this straight natural hair journey, okay, right? We're learning, okay? We're using heat now, so we gotta learn how to use heat the right way. Now, the other big mistake that is happening here with the drying process is you are using a hooded cap, probably attached to your blow dryer, and ain't gonna do it, sis. I have tried it, and as you can see, y'all, her pictures, she's like SOS. Yes, okay, because your roots are not dry, your roller is not secure enough to your head. And I can tell you tried to add the clips to create some tension, but your roots are like really out there. Yeah, that all of that is going to affect your roller set outcome, obviously. And when you took the rollers out, your hair was pretty much still curly, because it also did not get dry enough underneath that cap. So a lot of people think that they can use those caps attached to a blow dryer. If you have a really high powered blow dryer, most are not high powered, I'm not gonna lie to you. You can do it if you want to sit under it for 3 hours. It's the cheapest option you got, because if you already got a blow dryer, you can easily just buy one of those caps for like 10 bucks, attach it, and then sit under there. It's not going to dry your hair evenly because those caps are not really great for ventilation. So you might get some hot spots in certain areas, and then you also may get some leakage, some holes. It's just not a great way to dry a roller set. I never would do that if I didn't have to. At that point, you're better off getting like literally a handheld blow dryer and going section by section with just your arm. You know what I mean? But even with that, you want to get a hooded dryer. Even the tabletop ones are better than that. You want to look at the watts of your hair dryer. I always go for hooded dryers that are at least 1875 watts or higher to set my rollers, because that's going to be what you need minimum, as much as power goes, to make sure your hair dries in a decent amount of time. For me and my hair, I have really thick hair. It's getting longer. I have to do at least an hour and a half to be comfortable, secure, and like conservative with my time drying. It's usually an hour and a half. Sometimes I can cheat it with like an hour and 15 minutes, but my norm is an hour and 30 minutes. I'm sitting under the dryer. I know for a fact my hair will be dry at that point. I used to try to go for just 45 minutes. My hair was never dry at 45 minutes, even though I wanted it to be. And that's how I actually learned the whole like blow dry brush trick, was because I kept doing 45 minutes under the dryer, hoping that I would eventually find a way to do 45 minutes under the dryer, and it just like never happened. But I would always end up having like little sections that weren't dry yet, and so I just like would blow out brush those sections and then go in with the rest of my routine. So you can do that, but again, it's like we're trying to avoid the brush, you know? Yeah. Also, in the unrolling regrets section, let's talk about how we take the rollers out. Because if you're using tension rollers, like the hourglass rollers that I use, they have little teeth. So you don't want to just drag the roller right out of your hair, okay? We don't want to do that, especially these $2 rollers that I really like that are like super, super cheap. They're not my go-tos, but they're definitely usable if you're looking for a very, very affordable, like I think it's like 6 rollers for $2 at the beauty supply. They're linked down below as well, but you can use those too. But those definitely, for me, I had to really be careful with the way that I took them out of my hair because they would tangle my hair really easily. Just be mindful of that when you're taking your rollers down. You want to work with the roller, work with the curl so that you're gently taking them down, because you don't want to cause any extra breakage or just like unneeded frizz when you're taking your rollers out. I'm already loving this so far. She using a spray leave-in, okay? Great spray leave-in. We're sectioning, right? She's taking her time to part and section and make sure her hair is thoroughly drenched in water and smoothed out. That's a big one too. And she's using the magnetic rollers that are a little bit more challenging to use if you're new to this. So if you can use those kind of rollers and get them set like she's doing, that's a good sign. Now see, her hair is starting to frizz up at this point, which means her hair wasn't wet enough, or she could always go back in and re-roll it, wet it again. And I think that's what she did to get it reset. That just comes trial and error with time, with more practice, you'll get it right and you won't have to redo it. But sometimes you got to. Now let's see these results. Pretty, 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 pretty. Remember her? She's also talking about the roller size in her video also, which one worked better for her. And now she's going in with that blowout brush. And see, for me, for her, since she has so much volume, I would have gone in with a flat iron because she could have really gotten a more sleek result with a flat iron than the blowout brush, but still gorgeous results. Now our girl Goldie Naps, I love her hair first off. She's always killing it with her hair and hairstyles. And so when I saw her tag me in her video, I was like, yes, come on, join the roller set crew. She did very good as well. But again, it's like you got to make sure you are sectioning consistently and making sure that those roots are tightened. But even then, she didn't go in, I don't think, with like a direct heat step, which I think if she would, then she would have even better results. And the other thing too about the direct heat step at the end is that it helps your hair last longer. So like my hair right now is almost 2 weeks old. I'm about to wash it, but it's almost 2 weeks old and I have not had to touch it with heat really outside of a couple different times because it's been really like I was out of town this past weekend and it was literally raining and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be the worst. So I definitely got rained on, so I had to fix my hair. But outside of that, usually where I live, I don't need to touch up my hair with heat at all in those 2 weeks. And it's because I'm sealing my hair cuticle with that direct heat step with the flat iron. And this is the thing. People ask me all the time, should I use a flat iron or a blowout brush or a thermal brush? It's really up to you. I find though that a thermal brush or a flat iron is going to be your best options. Flat iron being number one because you know for a fact that it's even heat distribution and you can do it on a lower heat setting and it's going to be direct on that hair strand and you just need to go one pass and you're done. Right? But when you use a thermal brush or a blowout brush, you have to really work it a bit. And sometimes you can stay in one part a little bit too long, or another part, not enough time, and then you got to go back over it. It's just a bit more hard to navigate whether or not you're doing it evenly throughout all of your hair. So I find my best results come with a flat iron. It's like the most tried and true for me. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. But I do like a thermal brush and a blowout brush for if I immediately need to go somewhere. Usually if I'm flat ironing, I am rolling my hair up in some sort of rod overnight to recreate the curl so that I can wear my hair out for the next day. I'm usually not doing a roller set and then going out somewhere. Usually it's like either in the afternoon or nighttime, and I'm just putting my hair up for bed anyway. And that's part of like the setting process of it all, is like when I use my flat iron, I'm not curling with the flat iron. I'm simply just directly hitting all of my hair to smooth that final like set in, and then I'm going to wrap it into a curl to recreate that curl, and then that curl stays for 2 weeks. Like I just recurl it, or not recurl it, but I re-roll it up every night. I wrap it, or I put it in a high ponytail, or I wear my big rods at night, put a silk scarf on, and go about my business. And then my curls are really still there every day. And that's the low maintenance predictability that I love, okay? That's what I needed. I am pregnant with my 5th child, okay? Yes, 5, okay? So I don't have time to like wake up guessing if my hair is gonna look right. Like I needed to find something that I knew if I do the night before prep right, then my hair's gonna look right tomorrow, okay? And I'm gonna be good. And it's one less thing I gotta worry about. So for me, figuring out this roller set technique was so critical for me just feeling good about myself and feeling like I look like something when most days I'm not doing anything but my hair. And that's okay. Like I think as moms, as women, like we got so many things going on. And sometimes the last thing we wanna be worried about is like, is my hair going to turn out right tomorrow? And then thinking about that every day. Like, no, I think that's why a lot of us get braids all the time. That's why we get sew-ins, all this stuff, because we're trying to find a way to have a more predictable hair journey. And I know that it's possible to have that with your own hair, with your real hair, okay? I want more of us to wear our real hair because we can get the best hair ever, but it has to happen with our real hair out, which sometimes does take a bit of rehab, does take a bit of time to get to a place where we can do that again. Because when you've been wearing braids back to back, sew-ins back to back, wigs back to back, your hair is probably extremely dehydrated and it needs some rehab before it really looks plump and full and shiny, but you can get there. We will get there, okay? Keep watching my videos, keep locking in with me, keep following these tips, because a big part of even my roller set journey has been consistent visits to my hairstylist, getting trims, getting hydration treatments, all that kind of stuff. My hair has never been in the condition that it is now, even when I was not using heat like that. It's never been this healthy. And I really believe it's because I'm washing every couple weeks. I'm doing my roller sets, gently straightening my hair, using bond treatments, getting trims. All these things really do matter. And you will be shocked at what your hair will look like if you just gave it some TLC. Like, I haven't worn somebody else's hair in my head for almost a year. Like, I haven't gotten braids, I haven't had a sew in almost a year, probably about a year actually now. And I made that commitment because I was just like, you know what? I want to get back to a point where I just love my hair and I don't feel like I need to add anything to it. And that's something that, I think it ebbs and flows, right? Like sometimes you just want to play and you want to try out new styles and you want to see what different looks look like on you. But I got to a point last year where I was just like, you know what? I want to fully embrace where I am, who I am in this season of my life. And I just want to do that through my straight natural journey, through my roller set journey. And I feel like I've really been able to do that. And I'm honestly like shocked still that my hair is even in the in the current state that it's in because I did not plan this, okay? I did not know my hair was gonna do this. I really did not, okay? But here we are, and I'm so glad we're here. Woo child, y'all, it's getting darker and darker and darker, which means this video is coming to a close. So real quick, before you leave, before we head out, okay, before we go do all the things and practice our roller sets, listen up. When it comes to your roller set, you wanna make sure that your hair is thoroughly hydrated. If you are somebody, also extra tip here, if you are somebody that you find as you're roller setting your hair, you just can't keep your hair to stay wet, get you a steamer, pop your steamer on, like have it on like in the section of your hair that you're rolling your hair, and roll your hair in the rollers while the steamer is going. It helps your hair stay juicy while still being able to set your hair correctly and not be super frizzy. That's one little hack that somebody suggested to me because I was doing my friend's hair and I could not get her hair to stay wet as I was rolling her hair up. It was just really difficult. And so somebody suggested that and I was like, oh my gosh, that is actually genius, and I'm definitely gonna try that when I do her hair another time. But if you are somebody who just is like, oh, it's my roots are getting frizzy before I can even finish the roller, you need more water. Always use more water before more hair products. The other thing is, keep trying. It's gonna take you some trial and error to figure out what your go-to style is, what your go-to products are, what your go-to heat step is gonna be, if you even wanna do the heat step. Like, a roller set journey is all about growing and learning and also figuring out what works best for your hair. Because I'm gonna tell you this, if you stick with this journey, your hair will look and feel drastically different than it does right now in 6 months. I'm telling you, it's a real thing, because it's the consistency, it's the intention, it's the low manipulation, it's the wrapping it up at night, every night. The consistency is so good for your hair, and it's the constant washing, the massaging of your scalp when you're doing that double shampoo every 2 weeks, because scalp massaging, scalp stimulation equals hair growth, okay? And who doesn't want their hair to grow, all right? So just rock with me. Keep on trying. You can do this, okay? You can do this. So that's all I got for y'all. As I said before earlier in this video, if you still got questions or need a little bit extra help, I've got my roller set and go guide. I've also got some posts on my Substack from previous newsletters that I've published. If you're not getting my newsletter, you can join the newsletter list right here. I've been sending out weekly emails there. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing that. It's kind of an extra step of level of work as I'm getting to the close of this pregnancy. So y'all bear with me. I'm about to be, or I am in, I think, 3rd trimester already. So yeah, you already know my energy levels are up and down. So I try to be consistent as possible. I'm not perfect, but I also give great tips and things through that newsletter. But if you've missed any of those, you can also find them on my Substack under the dryer and on my website, jadegodbolt.com. But as always, drop your comments, your questions down below, and I would be happy to answer them. Also, y'all are really good at answering questions too. So if y'all can beat me to it, go ahead and beat me to it. And until my next video, I will talk to you later.